So after the parotid abscess and the Ludwig's angina, let's move on to another topic, which is the peritonsillar abscess. In this section, when we will discuss the peritonsillar abscess, peri is the around, so it's the abscess around the tonsillar area, around the tonsils, so peritonsillar abscess. Tonsils are the lymphoid tissues present in the oropharynx, so we already discussed in detail in our previous lectures that we have acute and chronic tonsillitis and complications. And one of them is the peritonsillar abscess or abscess formation around the tonsils and in the tonsillar fossa. So the causes of peritonsillar abscess, then we will discuss the clinical features and examination of peritonsillar abscess, and also how we treat and what are the complications that are associated with peritonsillar abscess. So if you see, this is the picture that gives the abscess formation around the tonsillar area, peritonsillar abscess. A collection of pus in the peritonsillar space which lies between the capsule of tonsil and the superior constrictor muscle. So the collection of pus, peritonsillar area or around the area, is the area which is between the capsule of the tonsil and between the superior constrictor muscle. When the pus is collected in that area, that is known as the peritonsillar abscess. The cause of the peritonsillar abscess, again, it can follow after acute tonsillitis, acute infection of the tonsils, and once it is there, then the infection can spread to the peritonsillar area and lead to the abscess formation. So one of the cause of the peritonsillar abscess is the acute tonsillitis. May arise without previous history of sore throats. One of tonsillar crypts gets infected and sealed off. So it can occur as a result of acute tonsillitis, and acute tonsillitis, we know, very prominent symptom of acute tonsillitis is sore throat, difficulty in swallowing, so all that. But in this case, peritonsillar abscess can sometimes be without any history of sore throat. Sometimes patient develop peritonsillar abscess, and that is when the crypts of the tonsils become infected, and once the crypts are infected, it gets sealed off, and it stays in the infection stays in the crypts of the tonsils. It forms an intratonsillar abscess, and then once the infection in the crypts, that's intratonsillar abscess, means it's inside the tonsils, not peritonsillar. But how it becomes the peritonsillar? The bursting of the capsule occur, and then the infection or the pus comes out, and then it becomes peritonsillar, which is between the capsule of the tonsil and the superior constrictor muscle. So after the burst of the capsule, peritonitis, peritonsillitis, and then an abscess form. So the cause for the formation of peritonsillar abscess is first the abscess or pus forms inside the tonsil, intratonsillar, then it breaks through the tonsil and is collected in the space between capsule and the superior constrictor muscle and leads to the peritonsillar abscess. This is the microscopic appearance and histological picture of the abscess. You can see so many white blood cells, neutrophils are present, because whenever there is infection, the white blood cells increase in the number. Clinical features might have general features which are due to infection or septicemia. There is fever. Whenever there is infection, one's marked feature or the sign of the infection is the presence of fever. So if there is sometimes fever of unknown origin is there, patient present with fever, most likely there is infection somewhere in the body, and we need to find out the source or place of that infection, because fever is mostly associated with the infections, or we can say infections are associated with the fever. So there is fever up to 104 degree Fahrenheit, chills and rigors, general malaise, patient is ill, weak, there are body aches, headaches, and nausea and constipation. Local features, there is severe pain in the throat, usually unilateral, depending on which side is the peritonsillar abscess is present. Usually may not be both sides, it's usually unilateral. Odinophagia, muffled and thick speech, hot potato voice. Speech is affected also because there is laryngeal edema or swelling in the throat or sore throat. Foul breath is very, very common because of all the infection going in the oral cavity. Ipsilateral earache, usually the site affected by the abscess, that side ear is also affected. And there is trismus also, lockjaw. So these are very, very common features of the patient with peritonsillar abscess. Patient is in the ill health, there is fever, malaise, odinophagia, then we have body aches, pains, headaches, all these are associated with the peritonsillar abscess. Examination of the patient, tonsil, pillars, soft palate, all congested and swollen. So all the areas like tonsils, pillars and soft palate, when examination is done, on examination they are all red, swollen and congested. Tonsils are enlarged. Uvula is swollen and edematous and pushed to opposite side because of the abscess. The uvula is pushed to one side and there is enlargement of the tonsils. Bulging of soft palate and anterior pillar above the tonsil. Mucopus covering tonsillar region. Cervical lymphadenopathy, torticollis is present, wry neck because of all that swelling. Treatment is the hospitalization is sometimes required because of all that toxic appearance of the patient. There is difficulty in odinophagia and torticollis, but the very, very important is there is septicemia and there is high fever present with this, and then a patient should be managed initially few days in the hospital. IV fluids are required. That's the other reason why hospitalization is important. To treat the dehydration, IV fluids are given, IV antibiotics are given, analgesics are also used, oral hygiene, incision and drainage of the abscess, interval tonsillectomy or abscess or hot tonsillectomy. So tonsillectomy is usually recommended in conditions like this because if these conditions usually they have ability to recur again and again. So to avoid that, tonsillectomy is usually performed. But before that, we should have a patient hospitalized. The fever should be managed, and because incision and drainage drainage needs to be performed. For all that, patient should be hospitalized, so proper care should be given to the patient. So peritonsillar abscess is the abscess around the tonsil between the capsule and superior constrictor muscle. Usually it develops in the beginning from the infection of the crypts of the tonsil, and then the capsule bud, and it goes into the peritonsillar area. And once it's in the peritonsillar area, all the surrounding area is affected, the ear, and then the uvula is pushed to one side, difficulty in breathing, there is swelling, there is odinophagia, fever. All these features can occur as a result of that abscess formation. The complications now of peritonsillar abscess, it can go to the parapharyngeal area, cause parapharyngeal abscess. Edema of the larynx, laryngeal edema occurred. There is a change in the voice, and of the patient is there also because of the involvement of the larynx. Septicemia, pneumonitis or lung abscess, jugular vein thrombosis, spontaneous hemorrhage from carotid artery or jugular vein. So all these are serious complications. If any one of these can occur, usually the patient is in really bad condition, especially the septicemia, then pneumonitis and lung abscess also can occur as a result of aspiration. So all these complications, so proper management and treatment can prevent these complications, can avoid these complications. So we should take special care whenever there is abscess or there is chance to be develop septicemia to the patient. So that was all about the peritonsillar abscess. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.